All right. So we're here. I'm with New Zealand Joe Rogan, Joe Marrell. And the first time I met this guy, I walked into the classroom. I met him in uni. He was pouring coffee on the floor. And I was like, yeah, this is the guy I want to hang out with, you know?
That's such an awesome intro, eh? What was I actually doing? I can't really remember it.
I think your flask was broken.
Oh, yeah.
And you were just trying to pour all the shit out.
Mitigate the damage or something and try and like get it out of the flask before.
Because like, I don't know who's doing this. Like, just casually just opening your flask and just pouring on them.
That's right.
I was like, is this guy religious?
Yeah. Seeing someone just pour coffee on the first day out onto the floor, you're like, what the hell? Like, what have I got myself into?
Yeah. And then I think we did a group assignment.
Yeah.
With Darko, right?
That's right.
And we killed it.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, this guy's a PT. He's a holistic educator. Could you say holistic educator?
Holistic health coach, soon to be.
He's got a pyramid scheme that everyone else in this podcast listening, including myself and everyone that I know that's in the health industry, should jump on. It's an amazing product. Bring your friend down. When is it?
It's we're kind of unraveling it at the moment. We're in the process of advertising a challenge that's coming up, and it's called PH360, and I've been chewing everyone's ear off about it, about how awesome it is, and it's basically a
pyramid scheme.
Yeah, kind of like a pyramid scheme.
Okay, do you want to explain it though, just a little bit?
So
I know you didn't explain it properly before.
It's
we'll
really
give you a second chance.
It's really hard for me to do it justice at the moment, and because I'm still so new to it. But basically, it takes into consideration your development and who you are, your body type. And from there, it's a complete individualized program. So we look at how your genes are affected by your environment and how you should be training for your particular body type. So everyone is different, and everyone has different needs for their training, nutrition, lifestyle, emotional environment, and everything like that. So up till now, everyone in the fitness industry has kind of been treated the same, like
cookie cutters.
Cookie cutter program. When
like
you go
training
to a gym,
and lifestyle, and also with dieting as well, right?
When you go to a gym, like a lot of the time, you just get smashed by. PTs don't really know any better, but you'll just get the same sort of HIIT program that everyone's doing, and you'll get driven into the ground. Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, everyone's different, so everyone needs a different approach to their training, nutrition, lifestyle, etc. So PH360 is a revolutionary new program.
So do you tailor also in terms of like diet plans to the lifestyle of the client? For example, if they were doing something like trade, which was they're burning a bit more calories versus something like someone that works in the office.
Definitely, and your body type. Some people can have more carb than others because it's just the way they've developed. Just
how they just like store fat and stuff like that.
Some people hold on to more than others. Others are just naturally, they have high metabolism, so they're going to burn more at rest. Meal frequency is different for people. Some people, they're going to store for a lot longer and burn off slower, whereas different body types, smaller with more muscle mass, are going to require more frequent feeding. Yeah. They're going to be like sort of higher metabolism.
So that's essentially like faster. There's some people here that just like work out, gain the muscle really quickly. Some just don't.
Exactly.
Some gain the fat quickly. Some just don't.
Exactly.
And you're trying to understand that with the app, right?
Through
which
testing.
He created.
Through.
No, he did it.
I didn't create it, but
he doesn't create anything.
through testing that we do at the start. So there's like a whole lot of questions and different sites that we take. So different measurements. There's about I can't remember exactly, but about 20 measurements that we take, and from there we work out what body type you are and what sort of body type / personality type, and then from there we determine what training, nutrition, lifestyle program suits you, sort of thing.
So what's the biggest driver for you in terms of like being in the fitness industry? Like what do you want to like change about like the mindset, the approach?
Well,
coming into it.
It kind of goes back to.
You've done, how long you been in the fitness industry?
Like 12 years now.
12 years, and you've been competing in multiple events.
Yeah, like sort of.
Like let's name it off. We're gonna do a flex now. So No boxing, right?
No, but I was gonna have a boxing fight, but I can't because my neck's too buggered. So
Okay, so no, not MMA. Jiu-jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding.
At some local gym. I don't think it counts.
Not really. Just my own vanity.
Yeah. What else?
Pro wrestling was my main one, so I did that for 10 years.
Because you did that mostly throughout your 20s, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing that really stuffed my neck. But like going back to why I am in the industry and why I do it, it's a little bit different than a lot of the people that are in it that sort of start out in the industry. Like I was never a sporty kid when I was growing up. I was more introverted, and I was really into art and stuff like that. And I was always into things that I could control myself. Like I hated team environments and stuff like that. So I'd always gravitate towards things that I could like work on myself and see returns in myself, and that kind of made me feel empowered. And I carry that mindset into when I train people. So I like to see people get that aha moment, like they'll do a full push-up themselves and be like, shit, I can actually do this, when they were not really a sporty person all their lives, and they get that sort of motivation and inspiration from that. So it's like
starting off like with like small building blocks and then like building up.
And sort of fanning the flame or creating that little spark, and then fueling that, and then getting them to see the potential in themselves. Because as it stands, the fitness industry is only suited for like one personality type. That's the go, and all the bodies you see in the advertising and stuff are really only one sort of body type. Whereas like there's so many different.
And that's even like permeated through social media.
100%.
Because now like everyone wants to get a piece of that pie, and you have to look a certain type of way, and if you're not, you just don't make the cut.
You're set out to fail from the get-go in the industry. So you're like, all the advertising is driven towards making people wanting to look a certain way, but that's not necessarily healthy for that person. So when someone comes into the gym, they've got images or ideas that they should be looking a certain way. Whereas like some people are never going to look that way. Some people are. But what I want to do is help people unlock their potential and like get the most out of what their body can do.
Yeah, so just like stripping it all the way back and say like trying to be the best version of yourself, essentially,
exactly.
Right?
Be the best version of themselves, pretty much.
And what I really like about what you're doing, especially on social media, is that you're not just talking about all the positive sides, the stuff that you're doing, but also the negative side,
definitely,
where you talk about, you know, the mental health, and you do amazing drawings like the one that you just did recently. I thought that was super legit.
Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah.
That was really good. With you and the bus.
Yeah, the one on the bus. Yeah.
Like I was like, I don't even know how to even picture to even like fathom how to like even start drawing that. But it's so important because when I brought your type of work to other people in the fitness industry, like there's actually a huge part in actually losing weight or actually gaining weight is that mental side, because it's quite easy to like keep the weight off if you're mentally okay, but it's really easy to put back on when you're not mentally in the right place, or you're going through some issues, and like sometimes people just get feel comfort through those comfort foods like pizza and like eating like bad foods, which no one really talks about at all.
No one talks about that
whatsoever. But you do.
And the thankfully there's a little bit of a sort of turning point in the industry at the moment with guys like James Smith and his mate Darren, those guys who are talking about like the average person and like marketing towards like everyone's different and all that sort of thing. But people don't want to, or for years have not wanted to acknowledge the dark side of it. The what if people aren't motivated right now, or what if they're not getting results? What then? Like people just push the go like positivity and all this, but like we don't feel good all the time. So what do we do then? And I like to show how I'm feeling like day to day. Like if I'm not feeling
like you
good,
feel shit, you just say it,
post about it, and talk about like how I was feeling when I didn't want to get out of bed, and what made me, or what narrative I used to drive myself to help me push through and get to a point where I'm able to get out of bed and work out and sort of just get going with the day and that sort of thing. But yeah, it doesn't people don't like to talk about it in the industry because it's
because it's a dark side.
It's
no
hard,
one really wants to talk about the dark side.
No one wants to talk about the bad shit, and it's hard to talk about as well.
Yeah,
and it doesn't sell. Like at the end of the day, that's
it
why
doesn't sell.
why they don't talk about it, because it's not pretty and it doesn't sell.
Yeah, it's all about positive vibes and like positive energy, right? At the moment,
That's why
and supplements.
you can relate that to like blockbuster movies. That's why big Marvel movies do well, because they're flashy and they're attractive, they're good, they follow a narrative that you want to hear about, the good vibes. Indie films don't, because they're not pretty.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense,
I get that,
like,
yeah. Yeah, that's totally right. And like in terms of that, like just when I started to work with athletes, I started to realize how important that mental side of the game. So this season we got promoted to our top division in the country for under 19s.
Yeah, awesome.
And yeah, it was good from the start.
Yeah.
And I had like dreams about winning their premiership, and I was like, yeah, sweet. This is what we did, and we got our first win in the first day. Everyone was on happy days. Then we went on to a run where we lost every single game until the third to last game of the season.
Yeah.
And I was just like, just before we won our next game, like 3 games from the end of the season, we were leading against this other school named St. Peter's 3-1 at halftime, and then we lose 4-3. And then I was like, I need to change this, and I think I need to attack it a different way. And the advisors around me were like, "Oh, just don't do it, because they just need to keep working, and then they'll achieve success." Yeah. And I was like, "No, I'm the head coach. I'm making this decision to change it."
Good.
So I actually, on a Thursday, we had a game on the Friday, was to do a mental session with like 21 teenage boys about rediscovering their love for the game, because it becomes
it's
like
just been grinding.
It's been grinding, and you're just taking the hits, and then it becomes like normal to lose.
Yeah.
Which I want to say, like, I think that's the good thing about sports is like it's not all like shines about winning, but and there's no participation medals in sport, especially in that type of level. Is that when I did that session, one of the boys came up to me and it's just like, no, because when we start to win and then we concede our first goal, we just fold, because we just lost belief in ourselves. And I was like, okay, that's an issue that I need to fix.
And were you like, that reminds me of like they didn't have the emotional intelligence or stability to handle like when they were starting to lose.
And it's just like a winning position just like disappears just like that. So in that mental session I just talked about, let's go deeper in here. Yeah. Let's talk about that why. And I think we talked about the why in the car on the ride here. Yeah. Is that okay, why do you play? Okay, let's fundamentally and people like the main answer from all these boys was like, we play to win. Yeah. Okay, what happens when you stop winning? Yeah. That
and then they haven't got an answer for that, because they're so committed to one idea that if there's no like contingency plan for what
exactly.
goes wrong,
and that's the stuff that I learned when I was a player. Well, there's so many contingencies. Then like if it wasn't winning, it was about just performing well. Yeah. Maybe just performing an act well, and then sometimes it was just preparing right for the day. I remember when I used to play, and I still play now, and I still do it, is that I would break the game up in 5 to 10 minute segments, and I was like, if I grind past those 5 minutes and do this right, then I can start building my confidence throughout the game. Yeah. Where for them it was like this: if I lost the game, that was it. Yeah. It was a bad day. So if I won the game, it was good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was about teaching them that why, and it was really good to. I talked about like their parents. Yeah. And I was like, your parents pay for your boots. Your parents come and watch you. And I was like, do you ever think about how much time they invest to like bring you to training, to invest into your boots and your kit? Yeah. It's like, do you want to let them down? And it's like, no. So make a performance that they'll be proud of. Yeah. And sometimes it's not about winning all the time. Sometimes it's just performing at your best. Yeah.
And you can see like, and the same with my work, like everything you're saying reminds me of what I go through the journey with a client. Like if they fuck up, like if they don't hit their goals or they don't do whatever, if they're working their ass off and the number's not there, I'm happy as for them, because they're consistent and I know it's going to come at some stage. But the goal is for them to be doing their best and being consistent. It's not the figure on the scale or anything else cosmetic will come with it, but I just need them to be in the right mindset. The goal is the mindset and them being consistent. And then that helps them build up the emotional intelligence and the mental capacity to be able to Like if an iceberg comes and hits them or something like
Like when life just happens.
life happens, then they'll be able to deal with that better. But yeah, for them to go, oh, I need to hit this target. What happens if you don't hit that target?
Yeah, it's like if you put like a goal of like, yeah, let's get you down to 86 kgs,
Yeah.
and they don't hit 86 kgs after a 12-week challenge or whatever, and it's like, okay, what happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
And even like along those sort of lines as well, what happens if they do hit their goals? Like,
Do you just stop there?
yeah,
Do you keep
exactly.
going? Do you
If
like
they're
rebound?
all your eggs in one basket type of thing, they're like, I've been grinding so long that the only life I know now is grinding towards the goal. So what happens after that? Do you like completely fall off the wagon? It's like when I say to clients, they see the diet as a sentence, like, oh, I have to be on this diet. They're dragging their feet. It's like, what happens when you've hit your goal, and what's after that? You're like, you don't have that emotional intelligence or mental capacity to be able to deal with the what ifs sort of thing.
And that's what my mate Henry Lynn was trying to do with me when I was doing his diet, is that when I was doing it, it didn't feel like a sentence. It was a lifestyle change that over time, that even now, I've been off the diet since July, so it's October now.
Yeah.
That it's just a lifestyle it's just part of me now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it never felt like a sentence. Only like in the last 2 weeks, Henry, I'm looking at you here. It was really hard because he was trying to push the envelope. He was like, let's see how far we can take this.
Yeah.
And I was like, after 12, I think I stopped at 15 weeks.
Yeah.
It was like, this is too much. I need to take a break. And it's like, okay, that's cool.
But you understand that though, what he was doing there. He was trying to go a little bit further, so you're like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, but
Whereas,
he also says that a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Because as like someone that's into sport, or someone that's in the health industry, or that someone's into bodybuilding, the clients that he works with, they understand that.
Yeah.
But when he starts to work with people like office workers or something like that, it's a different game.
It's a whole different game, yeah. And working with so many people throughout the years, like, man, you have to approach every person differently. Like, there's no one size fits all.
No, definitely not.
Like, the way I talk to everyone is different day to day. So
just generally,
generally, like, yeah.
Are you talking about with clients, or are you just talking about with?
In general, man, like, if I want to get the best out of someone, just in general, like, it's got to be a different approach with everyone. Like, it's not like being fake. It's just the way it is. It's not more so me putting my thing on. It's just like stepping back and letting them go with and be the best version of themselves in general.
And you're trying to figure it out and see what's the best approach to it. Like,
yeah, and some people you can just sort of let them go. They're like wind up toys, and they'll just do their own thing. They'll just follow the diet, hit their goals, and blah 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 blah. But some people, you cannot push them. You cannot. Some people.
So what do you do in that situation?
In that situation, you've got to like every little behavioural change or every little thing like that. You've got to dial it right back and find little victories in everything you can. So them, for example, I'll use a really basic example. So someone's trying to hit a massive weight loss. For them, like something as simple as carrying a water bottle around with them day to day is going to be like just a very basic thing like that, and then slowly fanning that flame. If they were to come,
do you think that takes a longer process versus someone that was like super into it?
Definitely, it has to be a longer process. But then again, like in saying that, it's a process in itself. The process is a process because that may not work.
Getting philosophical now, man. The process is a process.
Like that may not. I can say that a little thing like that, but I can try that and it may not work. So again, everyone's different. Even if I find these personality types and certain things, blah blah blah, it's still going to be different each person to person. Like, nothing's set in stone.
Absolutely, absolutely. What do you think about I just want to go back into it. Is that social media stuff that you do see? It's let's say the other side is, because what I feel frustrated about is that everyone's just turned into, not everybody, but like I get what an influencer is, but I get your job, but a walking billboard is essentially what you are.
Yeah.
To some degree, and it seems like there's a lot of people promoting that overall well-being stuff, which is all good. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the other side in terms of like supplements?
Because
it seems like it's
quite
like
sad.
It's like,
to be fair,
take this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really
It's like
sad.
this will change your life.
Yeah,
You know, it's like literally that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, take this pre-workout, you're gonna have a better workout. Take this protein, you're gonna get leaner.
yeah.
You know, that type of thing. And it's everywhere now.
It's everywhere, and like it's really sad when you see people that are like, oh, I'd never sell out, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and then you see them selling out.
Yeah.
Or like guys that are the whole preaching how they're natural or natty, and then they're obviously roided to the eyeballs, and they're promoting like a really basic protein powder and saying you can get like me by taking this, and they've got good genetics. They'll have a nutritionist. They've got all the latest training equipment and info, and all that sort of thing. And it's really sad, eh? But yeah, as I was saying before, there's a sort of turning point in the industry at the moment where people are appreciating the real side of it more now.
Mhm.
So, like, yeah, guys like James Smith and his mate Darren and that, and all the holistic people are sort of pushing the be this best or strongest version of yourselves, and that's really refreshing. But there's still that really dark side of the influencer where they're trying to push their products.
Yeah, and it's about like business.
Yeah, it's business, and I get that they're making money and that side of it, but I mean, I'd never do that. Like, if I didn't fully believe in a product, I'd never push it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about believing the product instead of just saying, let's say if I just made a protein powder that it's got like no backing, and I just go, yo Joe, promote this, man.
Yeah.
Well, I need some money. You're like, yeah, keen. And then it turns out like it doesn't work. It's a placebo. It's pretty much like milk powder.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the majority of people don't need protein powder anyway. Like, if you're just doing,
Ooh, let's go.
depending on who
Let's
you
go.
talk to, like,
You
yeah.
don't need protein powder.
depending on who you talk
Save
to,
the $80.
you
Buy Joe's protein.
Yeah. But
$30.
yeah, you don't need protein powder, but try mate. Yeah.
Only found a Habitat for this.
Yeah, like most people can get their nutritional requirements from just food, and yeah, we've been doing that for years. It's only the last like 20 years or so well, even 10 years with all the social media stuff that everything's just being shoved down people's throats, like literally. And yeah, it's heaps of unnatural stuff as well. Whereas like if people just ate more, like we were talking about before in the car, like you feel better when you eat closer to the source, more natural food. You feel fuller.
Yeah,
You feel,
yeah.
rather
Like
than
if I ate
drinking your
like
calories
oats,
as well.
like
Yeah.
if I ate like oats, that I would feel like 2 or 3 times like more, because I wouldn't get hungry. Like if I took a protein shake at like 12 o'clock, I get hungry at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
But if I ate oats, I won't get hungry until like 4 o'clock.
And I think like we're losing the ability. We've lost the ability to connect with ourselves in a lot of ways. Like we don't know how to regulate, like when we need things. Like
I was just doing it.
yeah,
It was just
like,
impulsive.
we're told like you need 30 grams of protein every like 2 to 3 hours. So people start going,
But I need to hit my macros, man.
yeah, all that, and it's like we've lost the ability to listen to our bodies and like regulate our hunger. Like,
Yeah.
like I have to eat now because it's my post-workout anabolic window and that sort of thing.
Right, yeah.
Same with like
even I've like come into that mindset before. Like, shit, after a workout I was like, damn, I need to get my protein in like straight away.
yeah,
But even like, I'm not even hungry until maybe like an hour or 2 hours
Exactly.
like down the line.
and the science is like it's still quite shaky on a lot of this stuff. So yeah, it's
I just think a lot of athletes just do it, and then people just
that's
follow
where
like,
it's come from. It's
yeah.
come from that like the cream of the crop and the top echelon of people, like the bodybuilders and like the athletes and stuff like that. They've pushed this sort of thing, and they're the ones that sell the products anyway. So people, the average person, office worker, like you're saying before, is like, oh, I've heard you need to consume 5 to 6 meals a day, 30 grams of protein.
yeah, but
each
you're
meal.
not working out
blah,
2 to
blah,
3
blah.
times
Exactly.
a day either.
Yeah.
You're on your ass pushing paper, and then you go to the gym like for 1.5 hours, and
And people become
You know?
so disconnected with the listening to their body, what their body needs. Like same, like what you're saying, sitting in an office all day, you're in one position for a long period of time. You're in bad postural positions. You lose the connectivity of what your body needs. And when they people like that go to the gym, they'll do what they think, what they've been told, or what they see on social media. So they'll go and hit these high intensity workouts or lock themselves into machines that promote the same postures they've been in throughout the day, and they don't connect with their body really. So they're just like they're feeding that disconnect along with the diet and all that sort of thing.
That's something that segued beautifully, because that was my next.
That's
next
that
topic.
whole analogy of the rat race sort of thing, and the wheel that they'll wake up, down the coffee, go to work, sit at a desk, finish. Now it's time to work out. Sit in a machine, push, not connected, or go warm up on the bike, sit on the bike, go home, drink alcohol to sleep, repeat, rinse, repeat, and then you're just stuck in this cycle where you're not actually stopping, and no one breathes during the day as well. No one stops and, okay, this is what I actually need, not what I've been told. So they're just going and going and going and going and going. That's why so many disc jockeys die early, 50s and 60s, because it's just stress, snap.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
As I say this, I'm like, man, I need to de-stress a little bit as well.
All right. I'm just gonna pull on a break and check my camera. Gonna get some water. So, all right. So I want to talk about flexibility, because for you show a lot of flexibility stuff in your gram.
Are you talking about like literal flexibility, or like someone being flexible in their body?
No, I mean like flexibility, with your body, because in terms of like movement mechanics. Because
I thought you meant like in someone's schedule or something like that.
No.
Like literal
no,
flexibility.
we'll talk about that. That's later down. That's in your second podcast. Don't worry about that. You'll be back. Because something that I notice with working with players or people is that like one of my players, I was looking at the way he was running. Yeah. I was like, it's like a really weird run. Yeah. And none of my coaches picked it up, and then I just did like a test with his hamstrings, and it was just like his hamstrings had been tight for like 2 to 3 years.
They would have been,
because he's been running like that.
Was he a lanky sort of guy?
No. He was quite a short, stocky guy, right? He was a short, stocky guy. He was from Brazil. He was one of our imports, and he was just struggling to run. Yeah. I was just like, the fuck?
Were they real tight?
Yeah, he's like an 18-year-old boy, and it was just like his movement was like he could barely fully extend his leg, and like when he was sitting down on the floor, he couldn't. He was always in like a semi-flex position. Yeah. He couldn't straighten.
Shit, yeah, that's tough, at that age, because, and I think there's something on the news recently about like sports injuries are. The kids are getting younger and younger, and they're getting more prevalent, like ACL and stuff like that, which is all related to tightness and
so like what I try to teach my players is like, especially when they're young, because being young they're just idiots, especially if they're dudes like me and you, like we're just like we just want to run, we just want to lift weights and throw shit around, and then you never think about flexibility because you associate flexibility with like yoga, and yoga's for bitches and shit.
You associate it with being like or airy fairy.
But it is so important. And when I got older, like even like now, I put 30 minutes post training for static stretching, and then pre like to my workout, like a warm up, I always do like my dynamic stretches to get my movement and just preparing the body for like pretty much battle. Yeah, and it's so important. And then with you, because you deal with your clientele is different to mine. Yeah, you're dealing with office people, so there's a different types. You get your tight necks, your shoulders, definitely with that hunchback position, and you're like tight ankles as well.
Tight ankles from only being in one position, so not using their body through full ranges of motion, which is most people. I
just want to say something just before you go. Yeah. The human body is not supposed to stay still. It's not supposed to be in this position for long periods of time. So if you're listening to the podcast, sitting down, get your ass up, get your ass moving.
Wiggling my ass.
We're on Spotify, so you can take me along with you. But you're not supposed to be sitting down all the time.
Not supposed to be in one position for too long.
And that's what
so we're designed
the industrial lifestyle is. Because you're sitting down in the office and talking to people that you don't like, making money that you don't really care about.
So you become your environment, like physically and mentally, emotionally, everything. You become you know that thing, you're the product of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. It's the
I
same.
actually don't know that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like
Yeah,
you just
that's a good
become a
one, eh?
product of your environment.
Yeah, you're a product of. I think that's something more along the lines of like your personality type or something like that. But it's true with everything. Like you become your environment.
Mhm.
So you become a chairer. If you sit in a chair for too long, your body becomes like a chair.
Yeah.
Your hip flexors get jacked up. Your hamstrings. Yeah, you get so many muscle imbalances. You round in the shoulders, forward head, all the cervical
That's like,
extensors get
this
all
movement, eh?
locked up. Yeah. So with those clients, which is like most clients, because I work in the city, so most people work at desks and all that sort of thing. I don't
It's
like.
such a convenient place to have a gym like yours in the city.
Yeah.
I don't know
So-
who's your boss, but he was pretty smart.
Yeah. So my because I sort of specialize
Habitat Fitness.
Habitat for Fitness. So my
And the second one's a Newmarket, another, business hotspot. Well, he's onto it.
mate,
He's onto it, man.
um,
He's playing the game. That's straight business right there.
especially with all that holistic well-being stuff we've got coming up.
Oh, what's it called again?
PH 360.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Should I put a link in the description
Yeah,
as well?
the link down here. So, yeah, like I was saying, product of your environment, and so the way I look at it, like I won't sort of like say, oh, here's your stretching, here's your this, here's your that. I try and sort of fit everything together.
Yep.
Because no, stretching's boring, and a lot of the types of people I train don't want to be told, oh, you're going to have to do this boring stretching.
I love stretching, man. I actually do love stretching, eh?
It's a certain personality type that will
I can like sit down, I can relax,
Yeah.
check out chicks as well, in the stretching room, and I'm
That's
just like,
why I
yo,
got into
bro.
yoga in the first place, eh? No.
Ah, there we go. I wonder why you were the yoga instructor, bro.
But
Playing
like,
the game. You become part of your environment, right?
yeah,
Right there.
yeah.
You wanted to like associate yourselves with females, put
Yeah.
yourself where the females
Yeah,
are.
so I become a dodgy bastard. No.
Clearly.
But
No,
like,
keep going, bro.
no, all good, man. I'm just like losing my train of thought. What is it?
Yeah, I can see that. Eh? Fuck.
I only see because I only see a lot of people for 45 minutes a week. You're trying to get everything you can in for 45 minutes, and
Oh, so you only see clients once a week?
a lot of them, yeah, most of them only once a week. So
Damn,
A
that's
lot-
not enough.
yeah, a lot of the
I
time
mean,
it
like-
isn't.
Damn.
Most of it is equipping them for the week rather than me. Well, I don't really smash anyone. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't give anyone. Most people, I don't give anyone like really hard.
Unless they needed to be
Unless they
smashed.
need it. Unless
Yeah.
they need it for their certain personality type. Blah blah blah. But a lot of people is just equipping them for like the week ahead or whatever. But I'll try and like fit in the key things that I need for their body.
Yeah.
To get the most bang for their buck out of their body.
Mm.
So, like, for example, a squat mobility, that's going to help have a flow-on effect to everything else. So, like you're talking about, squat is going to help with your hips, your ankles,
Your
your,
lower back.
shoulders, your lower back. It's got core activation. So, I'll do things like squat mobility, things that are going to help open up through the chest and shoulders. I work a lot on breathing because
Yeah.
breathing is the foundation of posture, of good posture. If we're not breathing correctly, we're not going to be in a good postural position.
Yeah, that's what one of my physios was talking about.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
If we're not in a good postural position, we're not breathing correctly. So if you're sitting at a desk, you can't get proper thoracic expansion.
So
And you're going to fall into what's called a secondary breathing pattern or accessory breathing pattern.
excuse me.
Or, sorry, I should say inverted breathing pattern where we're breathing and expanding the chest rather than expanding
Right,
the belly.
because you want to expand the gut, right?
Yeah, so
The diaphragm like fully opens up.
that inverted breathing pattern is here like that,
Right.
and that promotes more fight or flight in the body. So that
Oh, so it attacks that as well.
yeah. So if you've gone for a run,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
gonna
you'll
be-
see that with
yeah. So and then you've got people at a desk all day that are sitting there like that. Not that extreme, but they're not using their full capacity.
But I can see how that would add on to the stresses in their life, because if you're already stressed as well as breathing like that,
Along
it doesn't really help.
Along with coffee and along with staying up late, burning the candle, and that tightens up the muscle. So like working late
Yeah.
and getting up early,
Yeah, yeah.
that tightens up the muscles even more because
Plus
you're in fight or
alcohol.
flight. Alcohol, you're in fight or
Cigarettes.
flight all day, all that, and it's just feed that. Whereas like most people most people just need to breathe, full stop. If they sat up and they breathed into their belly,
Yeah.
expanded their belly, then their rib cage, they're going to set the body in a better position. They're going to lower their cortisol. They're going to bring themselves more into a rest and digest.
Yeah.
Parasympathetic nervous system activation, and they're going to help relax the body, relax the muscles, more oxygen to the brain, make better decisions. Full stop.
Yeah, you can see there's a flow-on effect here.
Yeah.
I'm like the body works holistically, and people forget that.
People forget
Like,
that,
a lot of people forget that. It's like people might just look at I don't know where I heard this. Oh, you know how your yoga's become like a huge thing nowadays about like especially with the mental health side as well.
Yeah.
That this guy was like saying yoga is it's gonna make you feel all stressed out. It might relax you for the moment, but it's part of a greater holistic chain that you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to also improve your breathing, as well as different things that are happening in your life. You know, people in the office normally like part of yoga to like get a bit more looser, but it's not about being loose. It's about, you know, being also like mentally free as well.
It's all connected. Like, I'll use the example of, you know how a lot of people hate stretching. They find it boring. They're like, oh, it doesn't do anything. I'm not getting results.
Yeah.
Because when they go in with that stretch, their intention is to just stretch the shit out of their hamstrings. So they push into it. And
push
what
into
do you
the
think
pain,
that's gonna
right?
do? Like, push into the pain. When they push into the pain, their body's going to fight back. That's like fight or flight.
Yeah.
Their body's going to go, shit, I
Sympathetic
need to like
nervous-
activate muscles and squeeze more. So they're not even like doing this, going in with the right intention first. Whereas like, because people, if you got a tight hamstring, people are like, I need to stretch the out of my hamstrings with that like jacked up nervous system, fight or flight. Whereas realistically, you need to really down and regulate that nervous system and breathe into it and just relax, and you'll feel yourself go past that stretch reflex to get further into the movement.
Exactly.
That's your nervous system relaxing and allowing yourselves to let go, the muscles to let go. If you've really done yoga and focused in on your breath and your movement, you'll get that feeling. But if you go in with the wrong intention to start with, your body's just going to fight back at you, and you're not going to get anything out of it.
And I think it was in the Nike training app. They talked about that as well, and they even said, especially when you're doing like your back stretches, that if you breathe in, that you're also stretching within, like for example, your lats.
Oh shit! Yeah.
So it's like when you expand, and while you're stretching, you're also stretching your lats
the
in
lats
both
are
ways.
hugely important in respiration, and
just like some things like that, because people forget about that breathing
people
part.
forget about even just doing like weights, like doing a seated row. Like my breathing pattern in a seated row would be to inhale as I pull.
Yeah.
Why? Because inhale, expand. So if I'm doing a row motion, I do a lot of rows with clients because they need that opening up through the chest and shoulders. So I'll get them to breathe in and expand and lift, and then on the exhale,
Big chest, bro. Relax.
release. So things like that, that's a massive bang. I'd add that one in with my clients a lot of the time. That breathing and rowing, because it's a big bang for your buck thing. It goes back to people sitting down all the time. So it's
So it's just expanding. And contracting. Yeah. No, that's fucking dope, bro. That's fucking dope, man. So, I'm just gonna like just go into the next point.
Yeah, sweet.
Which was, you know, we went into university, and then all of a sudden you fucking gapped it because you thought it was bullshit, and maybe I should have tagged along with you as well, because university is bullshit. If you want to know if university is bullshit, go check out my other podcast with Gavin Fame, because we talked about that. But what is university now, man? A bunch of liberal politics bullshit that everyone's like airy-fairy. There's a lot of shit said in this like 1 minute. And it's like, you know, you can't say anything. Like I would, like in Auckland, University of Auckland's having some shit right now. Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah, right now. Yeah. So some like white supremacists said some random shit. And the first thing I said, I was like, well, that's what he thinks. Yeah. You know, it doesn't have to, like, it's his truth, but it's not my truth. Yeah. And that's how I like to think about things, is that everyone has like there might be a truth within like what people say. Yeah. But you just you don't have to agree with it, but at the same time you don't have to be doing a bloody protest for everyone that's doing protests. Because there was a protest yesterday about that, because I think the Chancellor of Auckland University said they have the right to free speech, which I thought was the best answer to come out of it, and it just triggered the masses, like like crazy.
That's such a touchy subject, eh? Like
you're like, no, I don't want to go here, boss.
No, like working with working with so many people with so many different backgrounds and views. I've heard like everything, so I never judge. You get it bad from both sides, but I'll never like go tell someone not to say something or anything like that. I'll never shut anything down. Like I've heard the most vile racist shit like with clients have said over the years, and I'll never tell them not to like.
I mean, it's opinion.
Yeah, it's like if they were harming someone, like obviously I'd say no, don't say that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to shut. If it's very inappropriate, I'd shut it down. But like it is what it is. Like people say stuff and like.
I mean, like words do hurt.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of a context like, somewhere in an institution like university, you should be open to say whatever you need to say, because that's what essentially what university is, right? You need to challenge that status quo, versus something like being a brand ambassador, right? That's why you're a brand ambassador, because you fit their status quo of what they think is right.
Yeah, if free speech like was just what everyone wanted to hear, then it wouldn't be free speech. Like.
Exactly.
Like then everyone would like.
But then that's why I don't care with
but
the
bar's
liberals
being set lower and lower, because like you're not allowed to say this now. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Not allowed to say this. Oh, come on. Like not allowed to say. Where's it going to end?
Yeah,
like, it's just getting more and more ridiculous.
It's almost.
You can't have a laugh anymore at anything as well.
Yeah. You can't have a laugh at anything. You can't say anything without like some like trigger warning happening. And that's a problem. I feel that's a huge issue, and that's
funny though. I had a client come in today, and she's like, she got like offended someone in the office because she was having a laugh or something like that, and they got real. Offended.
You can't say that.
And it wasn't even.
Excuse me.
Told me, and it had nothing to do. It was just like a little bit of banter, and it wasn't anything about anything. It was just like joking with them, but not even about a topic. It was just taking the piss out of us. It was not a hot topic whatsoever. Like, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like, it wasn't controversial at all, and they just didn't like the tone or something.
Like, how's it delivered?
Yeah, it was like they didn't like how. Yeah, it was delivered, but it wasn't even controversial or anything like that. But I don't know.
I think the mindset. I think more people need to get onto it. 7 billion people in the world. You're not going to be impressing everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's where like for me that's how I was in a club like two years ago.
Yeah.
And this girl I don't know if she didn't like me or something, but she was like saying some like racist shit. Yeah. And I was just like not really responding to her. And then she like kept like pushing there like this is what I think about you. I'm like, I don't really care. Like,
oh, she was being real racist, or
like she was trying to get my attention.
Yeah. Trying to be like.
Yeah, she was trying to get my attention, but she was being really racist. I was like, well, this bitch is trying to fuck me. But I said to her, I was like, I'm not going to impress everybody, and I'm okay with that. So like, I don't really care if you don't like me or not. And if you do like me, you're going about it the wrong way. Yeah. Because she was just saying like the most like vile racist stuff. Even my friend, she was like, well, that's just stupid. I don't know why she's so rocked up. So I was just like, maybe she had a bad day. You know what I mean? And she just wants to offload it.
That's another really good thing as well. Like, when someone's like that, because I've dealt with so many people, I always think, oh, I wonder what led them to be like that. Like, I don't think, oh, that person, throw the book away. Like, I think, oh,
you're a dick.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, they've probably had a really shit. Even if the person's real nasty, I'm like, fuck, they must have had a terrible day, or like, and you don't know, like, their husband or wife might have like kicked them out or left them, and they're having the worst day, and then they say some shit, and it's like, it's not them, it's just a moment of time as well. It's not.
They just blow up or something like that, and you're like you were just caught in the crossfire. Yeah. You know what I mean? It happens. It definitely happens. But in terms of just that free speech type stuff, I think people just need to like relax it a bit. I don't know how to put it. It's like it's become like everything needs to be politically correct, and if you don't fit that mold, it's you're just not part of the society, or you're just a bigot.
Yeah. I just get to the point where I'm like, I just won't even like post anything or say anything because it's more trouble than it's worth, sort of thing.
Oh, but you know how I post so much shit, and I just don't care.
At first, I was like, I want to say something about it because it's like it's not right, and I'm like, for God's sake, I'll just leave it, like because like I've got too many friends on both sides, and I'm like, it's not. I may as well just leave it. Like, I probably shouldn't be so like. I should have more of a strong stance now, but it's been beaten out of me. I'm like, F it.
So
like,
he's being conditioned. He's being conditioned. You're being conditioned not to talk back. Don't challenge authority. Me, I haven't, man. I'm just like, fuck you, man. I don't give a shit. And it's like, that's because good. I think it's good because you never know who else feels that same way.
Yeah.
Like if you just speak your mind, you're gonna find a group of people that feel the same way about a particular issue, about a topic, or just even the way you live. So they're just gonna be like, yeah, cool. That's something.
The stupid thing is like, most people know what's right on both sides, and they believe similar things. It's just that the way they go about it is wrong.
It's just how it's delivered.
Yeah. It's like if you're a normal sane person, we can all agree what is like humanly right for people and what is good, but it's just the way it's delivered is just like misconstrued and stuff. So that's what's sad about it.
I think everyone's just retarded. Oh, sorry, I can't say retarded. I was actually on a date one time and I said retarded. It's just like, oh shit, that was retarded, man. It's just like, can you not say that? And I'm like, why? I was like, I wanted to fuck, so I was like, I'm just gonna throw that out. I was like, every time I thought about saying,
did she say you can't say that? Or?
No, I can't say that because I'm not retarded. Yeah. How does she know? Let's just flip it around. It's like, how do you know I'm not retarded?
Yeah, good point. Good point. Actually, it might be real mild.
Yeah. That's why I'm shouting all the time. That's why I'm saying outlandish things on the internet and stuff like that. That's probably why I'm retarded, man. But anyways, so with you coming out of university, like, you saw the tail end of it. I was like in it, and then I think it's even worse.
Getting worse and worse. Yeah,
it's worse now. Yeah, it's definitely worse now because people are like, what's that guy? Peterson.
Oh, Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
That's why people like him grow in stature because shit like that.
People get sick of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Why does Trump win?
It has a worse effect
because people
push, and then people push back, and it just gets. That's how the friggin' wars start. Like you get told what to do and what to think, and then you're like, nah, fuck you. I'm gonna think the exact opposite, not because I actually think that, just because I'm sick of you telling you what to do.
Yeah.
That's what
it's like a reaction.
Yeah. Like I was talking to mates recently, and they're like, we look at the 1960s Democrats or liberals.
That's when you were born, right?
Yeah, in the 60s, yeah. JFK. If you look at the 60s, like liberals, they'd be looked at as almost far right-winger because of like their values.
Yeah.
Because it's the bar's been like so like skewed so much.
That's just stupid.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I mean, it's new norms and like, times change and things like that. You can say that all the time, and it has. You always change with the times, but when we're gonna say that, like everyone says, free speech, and then everything gets filtered. It's not really free speech anymore.
No.
Like you have to tiptoe about your words, and there's definitely things that you shouldn't say in certain situations.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, blatantly hitting on your like co-workmate or whatever. I think that's a bit like wrong. Or like even like what I told in my last podcast. Right, we were talking with the girl. She's a photographer too.
Yeah. And
it's like that client relationship, because there's issues with male photographers with female models.
Yeah.
Is that after a photography shoot, they're looking for something else after that.
Yeah.
And you know what it is. Yeah, so it's all about like, you know, being like, that's stupid. Like you wouldn't ever do that, and then I assume you wouldn't ever do that with a client either, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know you, man. Maybe you do it in your spare time. He didn't say no.
Neither confirm nor deny. No.
Yeah. Just keep it in there.
It's been a dry spell recently.
Damn. I just gotta call a break there, man.
Change the subject. Yeah.
So, man, what do you want to achieve with being a PT? Do you want to like
achieve?
Yeah. Do you want to like create your own gym? Do you want to like change like the mindsets around PT? Do you want to teach other PTs?
That would be cool. That would be teaching other PTs would be a dream. I've always wanted to do that. But kind of keep going down the road of the holistic health and the brand sort of thing as well. Like I'd love to sort of create my own brand and keep going down that route and
So right,
reach as many people as I can.
JM Fitness. I think we just created a business right there. JM Fitness.
JM Fitness.
It's got a ring to it, you know.
I was gonna because I was
Sounds a bit sexy as well.
I was trying to get this brand Average Joe's going a while ago.
Well, like what's a dodgeball?
Yeah, and I actually used that as my I used sort of changed the logo and made it like that logo they use on the
Oh, real?
movie. Yeah, like I had the
They're like old school cartoon, right?
Yeah, the mustard and red color. Yeah, so I kind of want to revisit that at some stage.
Average Joe's PTs.
Yeah,
Average Joe's Fitness.
Average Joe's Holistic Health.
Oh, okay. Well, imagine you running a gym.
Oh, no.
Would you ever do that?
No, I would hate that,
Why?
Because I don't want people working under me. I just want like
You just want to work for yourself.
yeah, I want to just do it because I like doing things my way, sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess I would be able to do that, but it would just be too much of a headache, and I want to just like be able to just take off when I want and just do things my way and not have to worry about other people.
Would you ever do like seminars? I mean, you were doing like something similar to that, and then all of a sudden you just like tailed off and just
With this job, you kind of like go down, like
down a
you go
like
down
a curvy path.
Yeah, and you just do different things, and you kind of like go from one thing to the next and find one thing that works, and it works for a bit, and then go to the next thing. It's all interrelated to the same thing. But it's you're always discovering things that you want to do, and situations change all the time as well. So definitely keep going down the holistic health route, the branding, and trying to reach as many people as I can. And
did you ever think about do you have a LinkedIn?
No, I don't know.
Make a LinkedIn.
For some reason.
And I think because your clientele is office people, you could make mini videos, like 2-3 minute videos about like fitness stuff.
Yep.
That's tailored just for office people. Put that up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Right. And then they just get it from the source. It's like, oh, this is what I can do in my spare time, and you're like giving it for free as well. That will help with your branding.
Yeah, we
Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at doing more corporate stuff as well, like corporate
like events.
Nah, like corporate wellness. Corporate wellness. What would be the word for it? Programs. So like getting groups in and doing like blocks of programming and stuff, and like because the new PH360 we've got going, it's perfect for that. And they do a lot of corporate
repetition. I should have like a counter when I do the post for this.
Like a ding.
Yeah, like a ding. That's the count.
Yeah.
I think I actually might do that. That would be funny, eh?
That'd be awesome.
How good is this PH360?
Oh mate, PH360.
Should I invest all my money into it?
Like Bitcoin, just invest everything.
Oh no, I'm not putting out my Bitcoin. No, fuck that. Did you actually get into that stuff?
No, I was close to, but I didn't really I didn't fully understand. Like I understand it from a surface level, but
okay, this is the stuff that I'm really interested in. Is actually like how money moves, and I spent a lot of my last year at university trying to figure out, like just scheme and try and figure out how to ways to make money besides my normal job. Because in my mind, especially my mom told me when I was a kid, is like the more streams of income that you have, the better off you are. And I'm not in the mindset where I want to be like working so hard that I have like
They just
no
grind
freedom to
all
do
the time.
nothing
Yeah.
else, you know. So thinking about the banking system, I just actually just released a video about the banking system on LinkedIn. Is that I'm just giving people like some like ideas of what actually happens. Is like they're actually giving away digits that they don't actually have themselves, and then just receiving interest back. For example, I got charged $6 to get interest of the money that I already put into the bank. So
Most people wouldn't question that.
I got 30 cents
Yeah.
interest for last month,
Yeah.
but I got charged $6 as like some type of fucking random fee. So what I did, I took all my money out.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for the last few years, is actually putting money into investments and stocks.
Yeah.
Just not like big amounts of money or anything, but just thinking about it like properly, is that people always say, "Oh, put your money into savings, put your money into savings, put your money into savings. You'll get the interest, and then it's all good." I love dividends. That shit fucking legit. I was like, when I got stocks in New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
And I just got paid out like $50. I just woke up one day. I was like, yo, there's a random $50 in my account.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's way more interest that I've ever had in my entire life in the bank.
Because you need to be able to, like, people say it like it works on a low level. You need to be able to have enough money to be able to get interest to start off with, and you're not going to have fuck all to start with.
Yeah, but
like,
just owning like 100 stocks in New Zealand, which is costing $2 per stock.
Yeah.
$200. 200 something bucks, and then I got like a $50 dividends payout, and I was just like
playing the game.
Yeah, I mean that's I learned that from all the mistakes I made some bad mistakes, but I learned from them.
I've got a few mates that do that kind of thing, yeah, it's interesting.
And then Bitcoin, like I got fucking burned last year.
Did you?
I got burned, man. Yeah. So my mate back in 2017, he was like, "Hey man, you should get into this like Bitcoin buzz. Like, there's like, it's like this like new thing, and apparently it wasn't a new thing. He got told by some other dude that he was working with at his work to get into it. So he put like $5,000 and then walked away from it with like 100 something.
What the hell? What actually happened to Bitcoin?
So what in that moment?
Yeah.
What actually happened is that there was a big spike in the, like, with like the knowledge of Bitcoin. Yeah. So it like everyone knew about it. So the prices got drived up, and there wasn't enough Bitcoin in circulation. So basic financial principles: demand over supply.
Yeah.
So there wasn't enough supply, but the demand was huge, and then it just spiked up and went crazy.
Yeah.
So, essentially what the cryptocurrencies is to take the power away from the bank and put money in somewhere else. But I think if you want real power over your money, keep your paper, keep your cash, bro.
Yeah.
Be a drug dealer. Don't pay taxes.
Yeah.
He's like this. No.
Yeah, you're set up to fucking fail though.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy. So
like,
many fees for everything.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about this. If there was a financial crisis at the bank, what happens to my money in the bank? It disappears.
Yeah.
It's the same with anything else, you know, like it would just disappear. That's what happened in 2008. Like millions, actually billions of US dollars just went, just disappeared. Like all these digits like went flying, and no one knew what to do. So I tried to keep myself ahead of that game. And
is that why what goes back to what you're talking about, like having your hand in different pies sort of thing? Like
things? So like
not everything's not all in one thing.
Yeah, so it's not all in the bank. It's not all in stocks. It's in multiple things.
Yeah. And I think like building yourself up to be valuable is the key in the first place.
Yeah.
Like you can have money, but if something like that happens and you don't have skills and value yourself, then like
you're nothing.
Fucked,
You're nothing. Like what are you going to offer to the planet?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just moving money around.
It sounds a little bit like airy-fairy and like a tangent, but it's like it's true. If you build up yourself and you know like you've got good practical skills first, which goes back to the whole thing where you were talking about like uni's bullshit. If you've got practical street smart, like good knowledge first, and then like you've got a good head on your shoulders and you can apply that knowledge, application is key, then you're fucking valuable first.
Like fucking if university didn't work out, or like what I did in university, like if I couldn't get a job after that, what I did back when I was 17 was actually did an apprenticeship in trade. So like I went into trade for 2 to 3 years, and it was just like I had a job, and my mum and dad were just like, well, if you got a job, that's all good.
No one's doing that now though. Like you get kids that just go straight out into uni, and they've got like no life experience. They don't like,
because I think
hardly any of them have summer jobs now.
Yeah, but I think it's like this. I think it's because like my age group. I don't want to say generation because then I sound like a whole fucking fart, you know. But like, you know, people in our age group is just like, yeah, we want it now, and we feel like well, some of my mates will be like, when we come out of uni, we will get a job. We get like 50, like how many K per year, and then we get a house and be sweet. But it's not like that. It used to be like that. It's not like that nowadays. And you have to adjust, and you have to be different. Kanye West did it the best. You have to be a multidisciplined artist. Yeah. You know, and that resonated with me back when 2012 he said that. And I was like, yeah, you do need to be a multidisciplined artist, because what happens if, like, for example, if social media disappeared, influencers just lost their job.
Oh, I'd be fucked,
Yeah? What are you now? Okay, are you still a fitness person?
Yeah.
Or are you going back to a 9 to 5?
There'll be stuff like all those a lot of PTs now don't know how to actually PT. They just know how to do the online stuff.
Yeah, and that's marketing.
A lot of PTs now don't actually know how to they only do one thing. Same with like builders and stuff. Like builders now, they only do the physical building part. Like when my old man did his apprenticeship, he did fucking everything. Like he did concreting, did a bit of electrical, did like scaffing, like, because they just did everything back then. Yeah. But now people can only do one thing.
Yeah, and working in construction industry, it's like this. You need a specialized person for every single thing.
Like
where
you get the jib stoppers in.
Yeah, you get jib stoppers, and then you get jib fixers and then jib stoppers. And I was sitting there, I was just like, nigga, why can't you do the job too? It's like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because as plasterers, right? Because I did plastering as well with my cousin. He said like he was guilty of this shit, and he was like, nah, I only do this particular set of plastering. I don't do that particular set of plastering. That's called concrete remedial. That's a different type of plastering. I do this type of, and it's just like, dude, if you just limit yourself to that, when all the work is over there and you have no work over here, you're just gonna sit at home and be like, nah, mate, got no work. Yeah, mate. You want to come over to my house and play FIFA?
It's always FIFA.
Yeah.
That's why, like, with the PT industry, like, when I did that first,
that was the actual representation of my cousin. That was not a line. That's actually what he was doing. That's why I left.
After that first year of uni, I was like, I'll try and learn every skill I can within the industry, so I can be the most valuable PT ever, and people want to come to me first, and I'll have transferable skills to anything. So I just, every year I'm just doing course after course after course after course, and then try and build up the most knowledge I can. So I'm always, in my mind, I always want to be the go-to guy for everything. So like, and I always feel like I'm not doing enough. Like I still need to do more and more and more.
That's the same thing that I did. I was telling, I went to go meet a graphics designer about my logo to do like a rebranding type thing. And I was explaining to him what I do, because I personally felt that photographers and videographers are just like this. Yo, here's your content. I've just made it for you. I'm done. And they just like walk away. Yeah. What I thought about doing is that, okay, now I've given you the content. Now let's find a plan to how we're going to distribute that. Yeah. So I become like now I'm not just your photographer. Now I'm your marketing consultant. Yeah. And let's figure out where to do it, how to approach it, where to post it, and
that's
all these
an old school mentality. Like if you don't know it, you figure it out.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I learned. So like, in my last year of university, I was actually going into business classes in AU.
Yeah.
I was at AUT. I was going to AU. I was asking my man, I was like, yo, when's your marketing class? He's like, at this time. So I just turned up, got my book out, and just started writing shit.
Yeah.
Then I learned from that. Then I learned from online, and I learned from courses. Then I went to conventions, all about this marketing thing, because I felt that if I was a good enough photographer and videographer, I would get jobs like that. Yeah. But imagine if I stood out and be like, hey, now I'm going to help you with your marketing strategy going forward.
Yeah.
So I'm not just leaving you in the dark.
Yeah.
Because what I was learning when I was starting off with is that I give a lot of people this content. I would give like 40 pieces of content, and I would only see like 1 or 2 get posted up. And I was just like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, yeah, because you don't want to get too many photos of the same thing. But what is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, what they want? They want people to be posting. You get ranked higher, right? The algorithm ranks you higher the more you are active on it.
Yeah.
Therefore, the more you post and the more pieces of content you post, they'll rank you higher. As well as, if you create better content, that's why you bring photographers and videographers to make good-looking content, right? If you put that up, more people are going to spend more time just looking at it. Yeah. Right? Versus some like basic one you get on your iPhone.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And people just, like, I knew that while working with clients that they didn't even know that. Yeah. So I started to learn it to help them, just, with something similar to you, to like try and learn all the bits and pieces around that. Yeah. And he was telling me, he's like, oh, don't you think the graphics designer is like, don't you think you need to be more specialized? I was like, imagine if you can go all to one place. Yeah. Everything you wanted in that realm. And it's just like everything's there, and you're just going to be like, fuck, this guy's on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, I never really thought about that.
Yeah. That's why I always appreciate, like, if I went and did PT with someone else, or like went for a service or something with someone else, and they didn't necessarily do the other thing themselves, but they knew about the other thing that was related to that thing to tell me. Yeah. So if I went for like a bodybuilding session with a mate, he would be like, he knew enough about mobility and stretching that would help relate to the thing that I was going for. So he's got enough skills and knowledge to interrelate everything together, like what you're saying. Maybe he doesn't necessarily do that thing, but he knows how to connect the dots and give me advice on the things.
Yeah, and it goes back to being like holistic in your... Now we're talking about holistic in the art form. Yeah. Right? Your art form is being a PT and working in the fitness industry. My art form is like media. So it's understanding that all aspects interrelate. It's not just one aspect and you should just do that. It's like building a house. Yeah. You need your foundations, you need your plumbers, and they all have to interact.
And I hate when I go to a physio or something and they go, oh, I don't do that. I only do a knee thing here. Oh, I appreciate... I hate if they just cut it off cold. I appreciate if they go, that's not my area of specialty, but this person's good. But if they just go, no, I don't do that. Like,
just leave you in the dark.
Yeah, I like it when if they've got a bit of knowledge about everything, so they can like tell you why things, why they are, and then refer me on. They go, this guy's good because he'll look at this and blah, 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 and do this and this and this. And they've got a good wide knowledge base to be able to help and get the most out of it. Yeah. Rather than just like go, I only stay in my lane and I don't do that whatsoever. Yeah.
It's almost like we become like too specialized. Yeah. You need a person for everything.
Like if a client comes in, they go, oh, I've got this condition and I haven't come across it before, I'll just go and research it straight away and try and find everything I can about it.
And that's why I get upset, Len, when I go into big organizations, because it's like it takes such a long time. Even when I'm coaching, right? It takes such a long time for shit to happen. Yeah. It's like this. I have to talk to this person, which talks to this person, which talks to this person, which talks to this person. Then it goes to the decision maker. So why don't we just go, okay, maybe I'm not the right person to go talk to the decision maker, but let's just go 1, 2, 3 instead of boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And I think it's like, is the right word, bureaucracies? It's just gone mad. Yeah. It's like crazy. It's
because no one gives a shit anymore either.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, how can I make money here? How can I make money there? If we create more jobs, it's like it's like
10 pushing jobs.
Yeah, 10 pushing jobs. You send this letter to that lady, and that lady sends it to this guy, and this guy.
ridiculous.
It's so stupid, you know. I think it just needs to be simplified, and I think being simple is actually better. You know, not overcomplicating things.
Definitely.
And like in all aspects of
the fastest way from point A to point B is a straight line.
Yeah.
The path of least resistance.
Yeah. Or like, you know, cooking. Like, this sounds fucking random. Like, if you try and overcomplicate food, it will taste like shit.
Yeah.
Like,
that's why you get those, like, the good guys let the ingredients shine. The pure ingredients. They don't fuck around with it too much.
Exactly. Like, I've been guilty of it, trying to make it too fancy, and then it's like, actually, this tastes bad. You know what I mean? It's but like, and I realize, because my mom's a chef, right? She's like, actually, what you need to do is actually be the simpler it is, the better it's gonna be, but you just need to get the right combination of flavors.
It's
Once
funny,
you get that, you're good.
When you find out, like, sometimes you're surprised when you look at a recipe. You're like, man, that I've had that, and it's only got these in it. And it's like, yeah, because they're perfect together. They work the best together. And you're like, I always, like, if I try and make a recipe, I'm like, holy shit, I thought there'd be way more in it than that. But it's like, nah, because they just complement each other so well. That's like if I'm teaching a squat and I go, okay, you got to drive the hips back, your hamstrings are going to be eccentrically loaded, blah, 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 and I say all this shit. It's like
buzzwords.
Yeah, it's like sit back on that chair if I'm teaching someone a squat, and then they just sit back and it's like, you squatted perfectly without me having to like faff about and like tell you a million different things.
But it's like people, it's like people want to hear the complicated because it makes you more legit.
Yeah.
Like, I can go up to a model and be like this, yeah, I need the lighting to be perfect, I need the ISOs. You don't know what the fuck that means. But it makes me sound more legit. And that's actually, because I did New Zealand Fashion Week a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, how much... and then I had a conversation with a few photographers, and the guy was like this, trust me, you come in with a big camera, with a big rig type thing, you're 50% there because you look the part.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
perception
it's like,
is reality.
Yeah, perception is reality. Because for the people that don't know, they're like, fuck, bro, he's legit.
Yeah.
So if I didn't know fitness, and you talk about eccentric movements and stuff like that, I'll be like, oh, yeah, bro, he knows this stuff, bro. He's bringing out all these scientific shit. He knows his shit. But as like a person that knows fitness and has been an athlete before, I'll be like, bro, just make it easier, man. These guys don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can you hear me?
Can I hear you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me, right? Yeah, sweet.
Hey?
Do you want to hide it? I'll fuck you up. So actually, I want to just touch on a topic on male mental health.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I think you're a good philosopher around that. What do you think about New Zealand, man, in terms of like their mental health for New Zealand guys? Because New Zealand guys are like, yeah, mate, I'm just all about drinking the VBs. That's more like Australian, but we always get it mixed up. But it's like, you know, it's all there, like, you know, tough cunt type shit. And it's like, oh, man, I'll knock you out at the bar. And if I'm not knocking you out at the bar, I'll drink you under the table. If I'm not drinking you under the table, I'm fucking eating the most chicken.
No, it's definitely changing in the last few years, like with Mike King and bringing awareness to it. Which
I think everyone's turning into fannies, eh?
That's good, eh? It's like, it's definitely being talked about a lot more. Still not enough in the industry, in the fitness industry.
I don't know. I think just in the fitness industry, as how I see it, don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, do my workout plan, 6-week challenge, have this protein in your diet. If you're fat and you want to lose some weight, come into my gym. Gold's Gym.
I think
JM Fitness.
I think within the next, 10 years or so, that side of it has to be the leading side of fitness. Because everything's mental at the end of the day. Everything.
If it's not working right here, nothing else is going to work properly.
And what the hell, it seems, when you look at it now, it seems simple. We've looked at the whole fitness thing backwards for years. We've been looking at the physical side of it the whole time. How can I physically do this? How can I physically get my diet like that? Whereas it's going to be flipped on its head and be looked at the mental side of it. Like, how can I create the most conducive environment mentally for me to be able to get the most out of my health? Like, set up my life so I'm in the right mental headspace to then physically be the most healthy. But in saying that, like, it's hard to separate the two, the mental and the physical, because they're both together.
Yeah, they work together.
It's always going to be a catch-22. Like, how can I physically do the best so I can mentally be the best, or how can I mentally be the best so I can physically do the best?
What do you think is the most important thing about, like, being, like, what mental attribute is the most important? Do you think when it comes to achieving a goal, or staying consistent in something in health? Because for mine is resilience.
Yeah, resilience. Yeah, emotional intelligence and resilience. But it's like, people tend to look at it like all or nothing. Like, they're like, oh, I'm all this, and their internal narrative just drives everything. So they go, I'm depressed, so I've written everything off. Whereas, like, everything's going to be a process.
Yep.
So, like, when you're depressed, it's like you throw everything's off limits. Like, you can't do anything. But, like, getting out of bed is a fucking victory a lot of the time. And things like that should be celebrated for a lot of people. Like, getting outside and walking is massive for a lot of people. And that has physiological changes that will set momentum in motion. Momentum is a huge one for people. For when I see, like...
Do you think being self-aware of how you operate as well, and just like being
self-awareness is massive.
It's like, because personally, and even like some of my best friends I've talked about is like, one thing I believe in is to be self-aware, but to understand, like, what gets you going, and what gets you turned off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, for me, over through universities, when I had a troubling time, other people would be, let's say, might go to a social gathering or talk to a friend. For me, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
It was never a thing. For me, it was going for a really nice drive.
Yeah.
In my car, I really enjoy that. Also, just going out and taking photos by myself, and that's a self-awareness thing that I knew that was helping me get through even the most stressful time, whether it was like, mental stress, physical stress, or even when I was, like, really down.
Yeah.
Also, being creative allowed me to is almost like an escapism where I can get away from reality. And I think that you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that people have forgotten to do that with themselves.
Yeah.
In a degree, and
I think one of the biggest things along those lines is awareness of thought, and people tend to become what their thoughts are too much. So, like, this is one I've been working on recently. So, if you think something, you think that's what there's reality all the time. So, like, if I think I'm sad or bored, and I'm like, I can't. So sad comes with bored a lot of the time, and I'm like, if I'm feeling sad or whatever, it's actually boredom, and I'm not actually sad. And then I start feeding that narrative of being sad, and I start going down this rabbit hole of, like, I feel a bit lonely, and it keeps going and escalating.
Yeah.
But then I practice this thought awareness where I see what's happening with a thought, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is happening. This isn't who I am. It's just a temporary thought, because I'm going to be up and down, and it's just part of it's just part of day to day. You're not going to be on all the time.
Sometimes you just need to refocus yourself.
You just can't attach yourself to a thought and let it just dictate everything, like a negative thought. So I practice this thing where I see the thoughts going down the road as cars, like down a highway, and I can attach myself to a car and get taken away with that negative thought, or I can just go, okay, that negative thought's coming. Let's just see it go past, and then there's another one going past, and then a positive one. Oh, I'll jump onto that one instead.
Yeah, it almost sounds like you're like you understand that, like,
it's
when you do let your mind go through that, these thoughts just come like
So right now, like,
just attaching yourselves to the right ones.
Yeah,
almost.
Right now I'm a little bit being aware of thoughts. Right now I'm feeling quite sort of like somber. I was a bit excited before, but I'm like, oh, I'm feeling sort of average at the moment. But I know that's just a temporary thing. It's just the way it is. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just the way you're going to be up, you're going to be down, but awareness is the key.
Yeah. Like for example, I was excited, then I was stressed out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now I'm like getting to the point where it's just like, fuck it, I don't really care.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, it's when you're feeling shit, it's real. It's easy for me to talk about this now, but when shit hits the fan, it's hard. But you've just got to keep practicing it. Like with anything, like building muscle, you've just got to keep putting it into practice.
And that's why I
And it
learned in
works.
like biopsychology, right?
Yeah.
Is that the brain is a muscle, and
repetition is the
yeah,
key.
but you have like smaller muscles within the brain,
Yeah.
neurons essentially, and if you keep firing the same neurons, they get stronger, and their neural pathway gets stronger. Like that's how addiction happens.
Yeah.
Like for example, if you're addicted to a drug, their association with the drug and the positive feelings that you get with that keeps firing, and if you can do that for a long period of time, it becomes like strong.
And certain
to
things
break
get associated with that.
and to break that type of like bond, it's quite difficult because the brain is so used to associating good feelings and the release of serotonin and all these good feel good hormones with that drug. When once you take that away, it's like fuck. Where am I going to get the serotonin hit? Because the brain only sees two things: comfortable, uncomfortable. It always wants to pick comfortable.
Yeah.
It doesn't like uncomfortable.
Yeah. And if you're in a certain place when you've had the drug, and you see that place when you're not on it, your like brain lights up and you want that. It reminds you of that.
Yeah, it's like it's like going, if you go to a bar, it's like I would say it's pretty hard for people not to go and buy a drink.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you were the sober driver. Like I've been guilty of it as well. You go to a bar as a sober driver, and you're not supposed to drink, but you end up drinking. It's like fuck. Okay, now we have to Uber home.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So it's like
in that situation, like if you can practice that awareness of thought and just hold on and just be uncomfortable for a little, like hold on to that uncomfortable. You're like, oh, I feel like shit, but it's gonna pass, and then it passes after a while. And
it passes after a while, or even better, after you've gone through it, you might feel better about yourself.
Yeah,
you're
like, fuck, I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like you could say it's about like dieting, and like you might have temptations all around you, and you're just like, nah.
Yeah.
And then there might be a second and be like,
and then the next time you're stronger, like I tell that to clients, I'm like, just try and sit with that uncomfortable feeling for a little bit and see how it goes. And they're like, oh fuck, like I wrote it out, and then I was like, so glad I didn't do it. And then I'm like, yeah, now you're building that mental strength. The next time it's going to be a little bit easier and a little bit easier. Yeah,
and all these like mental coaches talk about controlling the mind. Controlling it. Yeah. And then I think that just comes in part of it. So, mission statement. What do you want to change in this planet, man?
I want to...
You're like, nah, fuck it. I want to change me.
It's doomed.
Yeah.
I want to help people unlock their potential in themselves and see what they can do for themselves and harness their power and become the best version of themselves and able to enable themselves to heal and heal others.
Dope. Good shit.
Cheers, fella.
Cheers for coming on.
Thank you.
All or Nothing podcast.